The most decorated soldier in the room had 0 combat on paper. Ever heard of that? A phantom hero. On the roster, supply runs, barcode scanners, pallets of MREs. In the chair, Staff Sergeant Maya Ellison, hands folded, face unreadable. The courtroom at Fort Meridian smelled like dust, coffee, and judgment. A thunderhead sat on the roof, like a parked tank. Lieutenant Colonel Brenner Cole, slick hair, slicker grin, stood like he'd already won. "Stolen valor," he said, savoring the syllables. Behind him, a projector hummed, ready to roast Maya with bullet points. Judge Arturo de Leon lifted his brows. "We will proceed." People in the gallery leaned forward, hungry for a takedown. A veteran in a faded ball cap whispered, "Logistics clerk in a metal bigger than her collarbones?" "Please." Maya didn't blink, didn't swallow. On her chest glinted a joint valor cross, the kind you don't find on eBay unless someone's lying or someone's desperate. "And wait until you hear how this ends. It's crazier than the beginning." Cole popped the clicker. The screen flashed. Ellison, Maya MOS 92A Logistics. Deployments, none recorded. Decorations, Arkham X1, admin. He let silence do the stabbing. "Ladies and gentlemen, there's your war hero." Laughter, the mean kind. Maya's defense counsel. "Captain, I didn't ask for this." Lynn cleared his throat. "Objection to tone." "Overruled," said De Leon without looking. A witness limped to the stand. Master Sergeant Delroy, retired. "She claimed Syria, 19. Said she exfilled hostages under fire. No women were on those ops. You feel that heat climbing your neck when someone talks down to you?" "That." Maya stared at the tables with grain like it was coordinates. Cole raised a photograph of Maya at a charity dinner. The cross caught a chandelier beam like it knew how. "Replica, $45. Next day, shipping." Thunder cracked. Somewhere, a door slammed. Not the courtroom door. Not yet. But we're heading there. Here's the part nobody saw coming. 2,000 kilometers away, a buzzer shook a secure hallway in D.C. A red folder changed hands. 3 signatures. A silver case snapped shut. Back at Fort Meridian, Cole paced. This is about ego. She wanted to be special. So she bought a story. Judge de Leon tapped his pen. "Sergeant Ellison, do you wish to speak?" Maya finally lifted her eyes. Calm, flat as a midnight lake. "Sir, my record speaks for me." The gallery tittered, then froze. The courtroom door opened, not politely. Brigadier General Rosalind Cade stepped in with 2 MPs and a storm at her back. 3 ribbons on her chest looked like flags planted on a mountain nobody was supposed to climb. Cole tried to smile. It wilted. Everyone rose out of reflex. "Remain seated," Cade said, and somehow even the thunder complied. "General," de Leon began. "To what?" "Security matter," she said. "Colonel Cole, summarise." He did. Smooth became staccato. "No deployments. No teams. No women on." "Stop." One word. Window glass hummed. Cade set the silver case on the bench like a judge's second gavel. "This proceeding skirts a line it should not cross. The line is called Echolark." A ripple. That acronym tasted like static. Cole laughed a thin laugh. "Respectfully, General, that's not a real thing." "Respectfully," Cade said, "you've never been read in." She thumbed the latches. The room leaned as one organism. Clack, clack. Inside lay a joint valor cross that didn't look like the gala sparkle. It was older, darker, engraved with numbers that weren't numbers unless you could read them. WL 13/2317/Glassgarden. The gallery gasped like one lung. Operation Glassgarden, Cade said, eyes never leaving Cole, took place in a border industrial district you've only seen as a mosaic on cable news. A chlorine plant. A hospital 2 streets over. 27 civilians taken to guarantee broadcast. She slid a photo across, sanitized, faces boxed. The Echolark roster was deniable. Half of them didn't exist. The other half were classified, where you couldn't trip over them. Logistics specialists made great covers. Who questions the person rolling carts? Maya's knuckles untensed by a millimeter. Cade's voice softened. At 2:17, an external team missed their window. At 2:19, a logistics NCO, Ellison, went alone through a maintenance corridor. Swapped canisters. Cut power to a wing. Triggered a leak simulation that sent hostiles into masks, which slowed their trigger fingers. She moved hostages out 2 at a time, under flickering exit signs. She left with chemical burns across both wrists. Cole blinked hard. If that happened, where is the citation? Cade lifted the engraved cross. Right here. We cut back because you deserve to feel it. The smell of metal and lemon cleaner. The slippery hiss of her boots. Maya's breath counted seconds. 3 in, 3 out, like Instructor Parker drilled in a stairwell months earlier. She palmed the purge valve and hissed chlorine like a ghost into a sleeping room. Safe levels, but scary enough to scatter guards into masks. The math was brutal and simple. Panic buys 6 minutes. 6 minutes buys lives. A boy clutched a neon shoe. Is it safe? He mouthed. No, Maya said, but it will be. She dragged her rack to block a camera. She used a Sharpie on a duck to draw a smiley face for the next terrified pair. Dumb joke, big signal. This way is safe. You ever do something so dangerous your brain stores it in black and white? That. A radio crackled. Who's on sea level? Maya whispered. Nobody worth remembering, and pushed the door with the elbow that still aches when it rains. General, Cole said, voice a half step too high. You're asking this court to accept an unlogged, unverified story. Not unlogged. Cade nodded to an MP who connected a drive. The screen lit with UAS thermal, silhouettes, phosphor white. A timestamp matched the engraving. The figure moving hostages was short, compact, relentless. Cole tried again. Could be anyone. Cade didn't look away from the screen. Freeze frame. The figure turned its left wrist to lift someone under the arms. Even through blur, 2 pale bands showed like rings of Saturn. Maya's wrists, bare today, shared the map. The gallery went from loud to library. Retired Master Sergeant Roy stared at the screen like it owed him rent. I didn't know. Maya spoke for the first time that felt like the first time. You weren't supposed to. Question for you watching. How many times do heroes have to stay quiet so we can keep our tidy stories? Cade placed a thin folder on the bench. Also in that case, retroactive cover orders, and a memorandum from the Office of Special Activities approving Ellison's public wear of the cross in closed veteran contexts, because rumors were already eating her alive. We let a rumor chew on a hero, so the operation could stay standing. Cole's slick fell apart. If she was authorized, why is the record empty? Because we told her to clean up other people's messes and then made her clean up her own name, Cade said. She obeyed both orders. Captain Lynn finally found his spine. Motion to dismiss with prejudice. Cole sputtered. We haven't. De Leon rubbed his temple. Counselor, your case rests on absence. The court now has presence. Cade didn't smile. There's one more thing. Cliffhanger time. You ready? Cade pulled a coin from her pocket. Echo lark on one side. A small lark perched on a cable spool. You remember Captain Parker from staging? She asked Maya. Maya's face moved. Just a fracture. Yes, ma'am. He didn't make it home. Quiet. Heavy. Before he went, he left a challenge coin and a remark for the team's quartermaster. Quote, tell her the only person who keeps the lights on is the one who knows where the bulbs are hidden. You hid the bulbs, Ellison. You kept the lights on. Cole, try a final swing. This is theater. Your Honor, medals require citations. Where's hers? Cade looked at Maya. Your call, Staff Sergeant. Declassify the stripped citation and live with the noise. Or we seal again, and I walk out with you. Maya scanned the room. The scorn, the sudden shame, the rain slashing the windows like it was trying to get in. Strip it, she said. Let the noise be mine. The monitor shifted to a document with long gray lines of redactions like blackout curtains. But the bones are there. Citation. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of her life above and beyond the call of duty as a logistics non-commissioned officer attached to a joint special operation, Staff Sergeant Maya Ellison, while under threat of chemical exposure and armed opposition, executed an improvised deception to delay hostile engagement, facilitated the rescue of 27 civilians, and preserved sensitive intelligence essential to neutralizing a subsequent metropolitan attack. The room exhaled the way people exhale after learning a stranger saved their children yesterday. Judge de Leon's voice steadied. Charges of stolen valor are dismissed. Staff Sergeant Ellison leaves this court in good standing. Cole started to speak. The judge lifted a palm. No, Ginned. Thunder rolled. Somewhere a coffee machine hissed like it was relieved too. The gallery parted in an awkward aisle. Some nodded at Maya like they'd known all along. They hadn't. Roy moved forward, hat in his hands. Sergeant, I gave testimony with certainty and without humility. I'm sorry. Maya shook his hand. Humility's expensive. You paid some today. Cade joined her under the overhang. Rain spitting like the world was rinsing off. She opened the silver case one last time and closed it again, quick, like a magician hiding a dove. You're not alone anymore, she said. Not after today. Maya looked at the storm and smiled the smallest smile. Ma'am, I was never alone. I had pallets to talk to. Cade huffed a laugh. That coffee in there? A war crime. Maya grinned. The kind that makes scars look like maps, not warnings. Quick question. If you carried a secret so big it could break you, would you keep carrying it to save people you'll never meet? So that's the story of a soldier with no combat on paper, who carried more fight than most battle rosters. You came for a courtroom roast and got a corridor rescue, a locked medal, and a general who turned a rumor into ash. If this hit you, if it made you mad or proud or both, tell me in the comments. What's a quiet job that hides impossible courage? Smash like for more true-to-life thrillers about unseen heroes. Subscribe if you want the next one the second it drops. And share this with someone who thinks logistics is just boxes. Because sometimes the person who moves the boxes moves the world.